Hello, welcome to What's for Dinner with Jacqui Saldana. That's me. This is my daughter Mila. And welcome to our Halloween themed episode. Today we're making broccoli cheddar soup with bread snakes. Doesn't that sound so cool?
Yeah.
And for dessert, you know we can't have dinner without dessert. We're making red velvet eyeball. So we are starting with our bread snakes. Do you get it? They're bread sticks, but we're calling them bread snakes. What sound does a snake make? So we have store-bought pizza dough, super simple, and we are just rolling it out into balls just like this. And you want to make sure that each ball is going to be relatively the same size, so then that way your bread snakes cook at the same time. And then you're gonna roll them out like this into long snake shapes. Ah! Okay, so we're gonna take our snake and we're gonna pinch the top of his head and we're gonna use the knife and we're gonna cut down his body like this. So you get 2 strips here. Okay, so once you have your 2 strips, you're gonna twist them like this and then pinch the ends together. And then that's what they look like. They look like little twisted snakes. When you have little ones in the kitchen, obviously you just give them some pizza dough or whatever and let them have some fun right beside you. Abracadabra. They're done. They're done. Okay, so before we move on, we're gonna add these slivered almonds into their head so it looks like a little tongue. So I'm gonna use my knife here just a little bit to poke a little hole. We're gonna add these slivered almonds at the end here. We're just gonna add a couple drops of green food coloring to our sesame seeds so then they turn into this cool green color. She's gonna crack this egg, nice and easy. Okay. Okay. So we're doing the egg wash so our sesame seeds have something to stick to, but also it's gonna give the breadsticks a nice coating. So I think something went wrong with Mila's bread snake, but it looks kind of cool, huh? These are ready for the oven. So we are making broccoli cheddar soup. It's one of my absolute favorite things to eat, and it's perfect during the colder months, during the fall and winter months. I'm gonna cut it into bite-sized pieces, and I'm gonna roast it in the oven. And then this is edible, guys. This is the broccoli stalk. So I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. Okay, so I've got my broccoli here. I've just drizzled on a little bit of olive oil. Just wanna make sure I get it all over. I'm gonna do a little bit of salt. What do you call broccoli when it turns into a ghost? Cauliflower. That's a good one. Okay, so I have granulated garlic and black pepper. That's it. And a little bit of salt. I'm gonna sprinkle it all over. And then you're gonna pop it in the oven and roast it until it's golden and crispy and delicious. What we need is half a yellow onion. It is October and the baby is coming next month. Yay! So I have my handy dandy garlic peel. If you guys don't have one, this is a good kitchen tool. You put your garlic in, it's still got the skin on it, put it in, and you roll it, and then out comes the garlic clove with no garlic skin. I've got some butter, and then I'm going to saute the onions with the butter. Add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Honestly, there's nothing better than fresh garlic. Oh, I really wish you can smell this, you guys. For some reason, sauteed onions like this always remind me of my grandma. This is how she starts everything. She starts every meal with sauteed onions. Hello, we are making broccoli cheddar soup. That's cute. So I'm gonna add a little bit more butter. It's gonna be melted butter this time. And then to that, I'm gonna add some flour. Now, this is called a roux, and basically what this does is help thicken up your soup. It's gonna give it that nice, thick, creamy texture. This is a very important step. Get rid of this spoon for a second and use my whisk. And I've got some milk here. Pour it in and whisk it in. Now I'm going to add my stock. So I am using chicken stock, but you can use veggie stock and keep this meat-free. You can use bone broth, you can use veggie broth, veggie stock. I would either use chicken stock or chicken bone broth. It's totally up to you. So now we are going to add in the shredded sharp cheddar cheese. So for this, you're gonna wanna keep stirring it because you don't want the cheese to burn. Also, I wanna add that the best kind of cheese to use for this would be a sharp cheddar or a smoked cheddar, something with a nice hearty flavor to it. Oh, this looks so good. It's nice and smooth. Look at that. It's like velvety, cheesy. Ooh. It's good. Okay, so you remember that roasted broccoli we made earlier? This is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. But I like to blend it up a little bit first so it's not so chunky and it's a nice smooth soup. So I've added almost all of the broccoli, but I've saved a little bit here because it'll be nice texture in the soup. Got my trusty ladle here, and I'm gonna spoon in some of the soup over the broccoli to make it blend a little easier. Okay. Oh, it's really looking like broccoli cheddar soup now. Add in the rest of my roasted broccoli for some added texture and crunch. So we've got our bread snakes here, and the last thing we need to add to make them look like snakes are some little tiny eyes. You can do this with a black edible marker. I'm just using it with some food coloring gel. How did we get them green? Yeah.
I'm gonna give them a bow.
In the green sesame seeds.
I'm gonna give this.
I love that you're eating the snake in the bath.
Now you're gonna eat him. Ah!
Do I look spooky? We're making red velvet eyeball cake bites. So good. Okay, so you only need a few ingredients for this. Red velvet cake. We are using some cream cheese frosting, some eyeball candies, some candy melts, and some red frosting to make the eyes look spooky bloodshot. The first thing we're gonna do is melt our candy melts. We're gonna melt it on a double boiler. So that means we have our pot of boiling water, and the steam from the boiling water is gonna come up and melt the chocolate, the candy melts nice and smooth. Doing this is gonna help melt the candy melts at the perfect time without doing it too fast to where they'll burn. And you just kind of let them sit here for a little bit. Stir them every once in a while until they're melted smooth. Okay, so we have this big bowl and we have our cooked cake, and we made sure to have it completely cool You definitely do not want to do this with your cake still warm. You want to make sure your cake is fully cooled. We used a store-bought cake to keep things nice and easy. And we're using red velvet to have it be more on the Halloween side of things. When you bite into these eyeballs, they're gonna be blood red inside. So what you're doing is you're just taking the cake and you're crumbling it into this big bowl here. We're gonna add a little bit of cream cheese frosting, and a little bit goes a long way, so just make sure you start off with just a little bit. We're gonna mix the frosting and the cake together until a dough forms, kind of like a cookie dough texture. You just want them all to be relatively the same size. So I like to use this so they all come out the same size. And then you're gonna roll them up. So we're gonna take our cake ball here, we're gonna drop it in, and we're just gonna use some forks here to help us. We're gonna take it off, and then we're gonna put an eyeball. We'll put an eyeball on there. An eyeball onto the white chocolate. So we let our monster cake balls firm up in the fridge for a little bit, and now we're gonna add some red frosting to make them look a little bit more spooky. Okay, let's do one on this side, and then we'll have Daddy do one.
No, pipe on the side?
No, that's good piping skills. I'm not waiting for you guys, I'm gonna dive in. That's good. How do you like that? For all the recipes we made today, you can find them on babyboybakery.com. And thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great Halloween. Spooky. Bye, friends. Thank you for being here.